Welcome to the first spring edition of NTPA Championship Pulling Monthly, your podcast for news and notes about the NTPA. I'm Greg Randall, NTPA Executive Director. In this edition, we'll discuss the new online NTPA Grand National Class entry procedures, some exciting details about new and returning national sponsors, and other news surrounding the NTPA. But first, our top story. Live-streamed NTPA Championship Pulling events are moving to a new platform. Just ahead of the Mack Trailer Winter Nationals in Louisville, Kentucky, Full Pull Entertainment and the NTPA announced our new partnership in which NTPA truck and tractor pulls will be broadcast at fullpull.live. Together, Full Pull Entertainment and the NTPA's new streaming setup will provide fans with more content around each pull, including pre- and post-event shows and some midweek content. Fans will experience the thrill of being in the arena with the high-quality video feed that will be broadcasting in the high-definition format. The stream will be viewable on all types of internet-enabled devices via connected TV apps and integration with the Full Pull app. The subscription service will be made available to NTPA fans at a lower price point than the previous streaming package. More details on fullpull.live package will be released as we get closer to the NTPA Grand National regular season. We anticipate the new platform will put truck and tractor pulling on the same course as the major motorsports and leagues regarding the accessibility and quality of content. This in turn will attract more investors into the sport. For more, visit the Full Pull website at fullpull.us or search for their app on your mobile device. The previous NTPA.TV will continue to give fans access to each season of the NTPA Championship Pulling Series presented by Case IH, shown on the RFD TV network, as well as the previous several seasons of replays of the live-streamed events. Go to NTPA.TV for more information.
At Beex, we stand up for things that matter most: our faith, our independence, and helping farmers succeed. As the largest family-owned seed company in the U.S., we believe in the integrity of remaining an independent, family-owned seed company. Since our founding in 1937, we have continued to produce quality products backed by a family of employees and dealers dedicated to serving American farmers. And that's something to be proud of. Beex, founded in faith, forged in America. For more information, visit BeexHybrids.com.
One of the biggest and most respected events in the country occurs each June in Tomah, Wisconsin. The Budweiser Dairyland NTPA Super Nationals has been a cornerstone to the Grand National Circuit. I recently had the opportunity to speak with Chris Shrier, president of the Monroe County Ag Society, about their upcoming event. Chris, I can't believe we're coming around the corner, June, ready for another Budweiser Wisconsin Dairyland Super Nationals. What's happening behind the scenes to get ready for such a stellar event?
Oh man, there's work being done on the grounds to get ready. I mean, as you know, the city owns Recreation Park where we have the pull. They always have, and they work with us closely to get this pull put on. So they're making some improvements here, not always for us, but for the park itself. So we're working around that. Yeah, the work in the office, as you know, Greg, you work with promoters for a long time. We've been strung pretty thin here with people working with our sponsors, all our equipment people that bring equipment in to help out, just getting the grounds ready, advertising. That's another, we still do the conventional advertising yet, not all the social media. So I should mention Julie is not working with us anymore on that. She took a different direction and working closer to home with other things. So we're kind of picking that up and doing that. But talking to other promoters, like I said, sponsors, even been talking to some pullers on trying to help them when they get here. So
yeah, got some new things this year. Light Modified is coming back to the card. That ought to bring some pretty good excitement.
Yes, yeah, we're looking forward to that. Some of those pullers will already be here, so they can hook again. But it'll be great to see the ones that just run that class exclusively come back here. It'd
Absolutely.
be great.
And we both, more so you than I, but not by much, in my humble opinion, lost a great man in our lives here, end of last year. And so your father, David P. Shrier, my boss for almost 30 years, what an impact he's made on the sport. But I mean, particularly Tomah, his hometown, to bring that event there in 1976.
Yes.
As
a national, it was state pull prior to that, but
and you know, trying to also salute him in a way that is good. I know, there's some things behind the scenes that are being talked about and in the planning stages, but what what is it like for you this year for the first time without having him to call and say, Dad, what do you think about this?
And it's tough. I wasn't as worried initially until you get into things and you don't have that guy to go to and say, hey, is this the right way to go at this? And he always had an opinion. He wasn't pushing it on us, but he always had an opinion of what we need to look at if we're going to make some changes. And there's some changes we're going to look at and make, and we got to consider what would David P. Shrier think, and that's run
Yeah.
through all our different board members, on different things. So yeah, it's not scary, but he taught us well.
Yes,
He
sure
was a
did.
big influence on everybody.
I'm so happy that we made the journey out to the house there off the Case IH sweepstakes winner in early November. And people out there, to be honest with you, I mean, there's Chris in the first 45 minutes of visiting. It was all about this year's show.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sure it was that way completely to the end.
Yeah,
So
it was. It
yeah,
was. I still have people coming up to me and saying, um, they've talked in the area here, locally, that prior to our event last year, whether it was a tractor pull fair, he was still involved with putting them on and talking to people and getting things ready. And he made a point to even stop and talk to people about it that weren't even involved, just to let them know what's all going on. And everybody wonders, what happened, how come all of a sudden, but he didn't show that he was not feeling good
right,
this whole past year.
exactly.
It didn't show until the last couple of months. So, but yeah,
Yeah,
we can't wait to get the show on and honor him with this
absolutely.
49th year.
It's pretty interesting when you think about this and my first time up to Toma would have been 1987. And to me, the thing that stood out from my first year at the company, 90 until recently, and even though it has waned some, it's waned everywhere. Volunteerism. To do an event of your size or any of the promoters we deal with, but you still have a good core of people you can call on, and they do a superlative job.
Yes, well, it's tougher to get those people to do it, but we still have the dedicated people that you don't even have to invite them. You just know they're going to be there. And it's even now they are bringing friends with them to replace some of these people that, can't do it anymore. But yeah, we've been fortunate in Toma to have that. You don't have to have that paid employee and training them every year.
Yeah. I say all of our events are like children. They all have their own personality based on the people, the region, the whole thing.
Yeah.
If you were talking to someone here, someone's watching this for the first time they've heard of Toma, Wisconsin, NTPA, what would you say to get them up to your event in June?
Oh, we've seen a lot of comments in the last few weeks from Facebook and that. So I can say it's the atmosphere when you're here. It's a small town atmosphere. People are taken care of. It isn't like you're going into some place where people are going to shun you and wonder what you're doing here and all they want is your money. That isn't it. Everybody wants you here to have a good time, enjoy it. It's family oriented. People in the crowd, if you come every year, they're going to remember you each year because everybody sits in the same places as they did before. So it's like a family reunion for a lot of people. We've got people that have been here every year or, minimum of probably 20, 25 years, some of them,
Right.
Out of the 48 or 49 this year, I guess. But yeah, you got probably one of the best shows as far as NTPA competitors out there that you're going to see anywhere for the number of classes. We run the most classes, so you're going to see all the competitors pretty much. And they're from all over. I guess the comments you get is you aren't going to see a better show than Toma.
And a unique thing about Toma, and there's not a whole lot of places like this, but you actually do not have to buy a ticket to partake in the flea market, to partake in the pit area, because it encompasses outside of that fenced-in area, and that's pretty unique.
Yep. Oh, and it is. And we've got people probably that don't even go to the show. They just come to walk through the pits, talk to the pullers, see what they have out there, eat the food. Like I say, the flea market, we got different vendors out here that they can come and get and buy things from. And so you're right. Yeah, our grounds, you walk up to the gate, we aren't going to charge you getting the gate. You just won't get in the grandstand if you don't have your ticket. So,
So where can people go to find out more about the TOMA event and pricing for tickets?
oh, tomatractable.com. You can
Chris,
find out everything there.
thanks for
Yeah.
taking some time out with us today.
Oh, I appreciate it, Greg. Anytime. It's always good talking to you.
You too.
What's the future of agriculture? Interest in biologicals in crop production is being driven by the potential to help farmers produce higher yields while also promoting environmental sustainability. But what biological product might be right to implement on your farm? Compared to other products, biologicals are a fairly inexpensive management option. Farm the future. Farm with Newfields Ag.
And now for some items of interest to competitors in Grand National classes. The NTPA's online digital membership applications and Super Grand National event registrations are being consolidated into one service. The NTPA has teamed up with Canton, Ohio-based Trackside Systems to provide an all-in-one interface available via a portal at ntpapool.com. For competition license, crew person license, and vehicle registration applications. Then beginning this spring and summer, participants in Super and Grand National events and in Grand National classes at Regional National events will return to the Trackside portal to enter these events. Online registration for regional classes at Super, Grand, or Regional National events will continue to be optional but is strongly encouraged. Registration for Grand National classes at each Super, Grand, or Regional National event must be completed by the stated deadline for that event, which will typically be noon Eastern either 2 or 3 days prior to the event's first session. For example, competitor and vehicle entry into either 7 p.m. session of Benson, North Carolina's Mule City 300 on Friday and Saturday, May 31st, June 1st, will close at noon on Wednesday, May 29th. Registration materials will then be available for pickup at the NTPA entry service trailer on site. Entries into Grand National classes will not be accepted on site at these events or after the stated deadline has passed. Look for the complete list of deadlines in our next email, newsletter, or at ntpapool.com. Online entry will remain open for these events up to the 48-hour deadline. For competitors who are planning to only hook a few times and not for points, the NTPA has a new option, the non-points registration level. Priced less than a Grand or Regional National registration, the non-points vehicle registration may be paired with a competition license. Competitors may still participate in Grand National classes in 2024 under the provisional license and vehicle registration option, commonly known as per hook. However, those who intend to per hook at any Grand National class this season must fill out a one-time application via the Trackside portal before placing an entry to any of the Grand National classes. No payment will be required at the time this application is completed, but the additional per hook fees will be collected when the applicant enters each class online during the season. Again, these new Grand National class entry policies and the event entry deadlines will appear in full in the competitors menu at ntpapool.com for your reference all season long. We expect that the new procedure will aid with event logistics such as lineups and parking and allow NTPA fans and followers to come and see their favorite pullers who they know will be there. RJ Simon is no stranger to the NTPA pulling sport, with multiple vehicles and multiple divisions on the Grand National scene, as well as promoter of the Raider Implement NTPA Grand Nationals in Farley, Iowa. I had a chance to visit with RJ recently via Zoom. RJ, without any doubt, you've got the most vehicles in the sport of pulling on a professional level, at any level probably, right? And tell me a little bit about what divisions you're currently in.
So currently we have a 4-wheel drive truck. So we have that. My dad's original, the original Simon Says we call it. We have that. Then we have 3 2-wheel drive trucks. We have my dad's original Simon Says Dodge, Simon Says Chevy, and then we have my Dirty Pearl. And then we're running multiple pro stocks. There's 3 sitting here right now. There's another one getting built, or 2 getting built. So Brett Myers tractors stay here all the time. So we do all the wrenching on them. There's a 4-engine mod sitting here, a 2-engine light mod, a semi, and well, I got another 2-wheeler that I'm buying that I bought and then resold that's sitting in the back of the shed here. So a lot of vehicles. I don't even count them anymore, but there's a lot. There's
So
so
if
many.
one comes up missing, you just, maybe I sold it. Maybe, somebody borrowed it.
Yeah, no, I usually don't lose them, but I mean, it's just to the point where it's like, yeah, we got a lot. It's usually in that 10 to 12 number is what it's been lately. So
Yeah. I got to go out to your place last year for the first time, thoroughly impressed from the shop, or the shops, I should say, plural, to the trucking business. Tell us a little bit about the trucking business. I mean, when I started in 1990, your dad was in the thrust of a multi-championship career, and you guys were little guys walking around. I can remember you.
yeah, so that's when Dad was really growing, right? In that early 90s, late 90s, when Dad was really expanding the trucking company. And my dad started the company with his grandfather, or with my grandfather, his dad, George, and they've kind of built it into just an empire. He's seen the need for, the feed and grain side in eastern Iowa. He's seen that was needing transported all over. So he started doing that, and about late 80s, he seen that, dry van freight was really getting going, and he got into that, and we just kept growing. And then I've took it over in the operations side in 08, and we grew it from 60 trucks at that time, and now we're up over 120. So we run coast to coast, dry van, reefers, tankers, hopper bottoms. We do industrial gas. You basically, if it can go on a trailer, for the most part, we probably do it. We got livestock trailers. Yeah, we do a lot of different things on the trucking side. That's for sure. So it's a busy joint.
Without specifically talking about today, what's a typical day like for RJ Simon?
Oh, a typical day for me, I'm kind of more in the I guess it'd be like the buying and selling of the equipment, and more of the sales of the customers. That's my normal day. So I'll talk to like the customers. I try to set up customer meetings at minimum every 6 months to meet with my customers. And so I take I might email them, I might be on a Zoom call, might be on, and you just meet with them. Just, hey, how we doing? What can we do more? What can we do better? What can we, take the good calls and the bad calls, and take care of all them. And then I do a lot of the buying and selling of the used and new equipment, and that's normally. But then when we get into anhydrous and LP season, I like to drive a truck. Yet I really enjoy driving a truck, and that season's kind of something that I've grown, and it's kind of been my baby the last 10 years. So we've really built it into something big, and I've been kind of nurturing that side of the business. We're up to 14 trailers, hauling LP and anhydrous, and we switch them back and forth. So like the winter months or the fall, we'll have them on LP for gas, and then we'll flip them back over to haul anhydrous. So that's kind of what I do. And in a nutshell, that's a small part of it, I guess, but that's a typical day. So I'm in the trucking business, and I stay around the trucking. So.
And your brother's in the cattle business.
Yep, my brother runs the cattle, the feedlots and everything. We got Simon's Cattle Company. So we're feeding about 7,500 head of cattle every day, and it's we run about 3,000 acres of row crop, and yeah, he handles that, and I help when I need to, but yeah, that's where the pull and help, the staff that goes pulling with us, the guys in the shop, they help put the crop in, take the crop out. You got Brad Walkup, he's back there, he's a huge asset. Steve Olson, and they're back in the pulling shop, and then there's many others as well. So we got a new guy starting actually next Monday. So we're pretty excited about that. So yeah.
Perfect. And in your spare time, you ended up with a raceway. Your dad
Yeah.
got it, and it was kind of one of his last uh, tasks that he was wanting to see perform, and he got to
Yeah.
see some of the success.
Yeah, no, so the racetrack was always, so if you ever come to the poll, which I hope you do, June 7th and 8th, but um, it's literally our trucking company touches the racetrack. The boundary lines are all in one. And so my dad bought this property where our current trucking company is and never owned the racetrack. Well, the opportunity came up that he could buy that racetrack. And at the time, I was kind of skeptical, we don't need a racetrack, like this is silly, but we always liked racing. I always enjoyed it. And of course I'm thinking, oh, we could have tractor pulls here, and we just kind of took it under our wing and changed a lot of things, put a new sound system in and, updated the event center. There's a bar and event center on site, and we, redid the whole infield, hauled in just a specific pulling track. We do nothing else on it. There's no demo derbies. Not that there's anything wrong with them. There's no motocross. There's no nothing. It's just literally a pulling track because one goal we had when we were doing this, if we were going to put a pulling track in here that was just for pulling, we wanted to have the best pulling track. And I would say, without a doubt, we're in the top 5, if not higher, of best pulling tracks in the country. From what I'm told from a lot of pullers guys like, Terry Blackburn, the first year we had the pull, walked up to me, and I don't even know how many championships that man's won. I'd say it's probably ranks up there with probably one of the top ones. And he walked up and said, I've never been able to sidestep a light super before. He said it was just crazy. It hooked up and it was gone. He goes, he was just blown away, and that was pretty cool. And then Gettingers were here that year with their heavy super, and they're the same way. He gave me a compliment, and as many years as they've been around pulling to get that compliment that it was the best track he's ever been on. That was pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you guys, from all your pulling vehicles, there's not one of them that you could say is not a contender, really.
Well, the semi yet. We haven't proven the semi yet.
Well, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that came from a pretty good pedigree.
Yeah. No, we're close there. We're ready. We just forgot to hit the suspension switch at the MAC Winter Nationals.
Well, you'll have all that figured out. But just tell me a little bit about the poll coming up here at the first part of the
Yeah, June 7th and 8th, we got the Farley Grand Nationals. We're pretty excited about it. This is the second year of doing it. We've got 6 classes. We got the 7,500 pound mods, 6,200 pound 2-wheel drive trucks, 4-wheel drive trucks, the super semis, and the pro stocks, and the super farm tractors. And it's kind of, you got the smoke, you got the noise. We kind of did a little bit of everything, kind of got 3 and 3. We're pretty excited about it. This is the first year semis will be here. Semis is something that me as a kid, I looked at semis, and it was, back in the Hibbets and the JR and, the Metzgers. And, I remember that. I was a young kid. I was my kids' age. And that was, we ran back into, like, say, Toma to the stands to make you never miss the semis. And that's one thing we're really excited about, that semi. We wanted to bring it back to its former glory. So we're pretty excited about that. We call it Drivers Wanted. So
and I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
Drivers are wanted with that type of operation. So where can fans go to find out ticket information or anything else on the Farley Nationals?
Yeah, 300 Raceway. Go to 300 Raceway. We're on Facebook. We got our website. Check that out. And we got camping. We got full hookups camping on site. It's going to be a great time. Like I said, we got a bar on site. So the goal is to have a good time every night. We got a great sound system in there. we haven't, the last few years, haven't got a band or nothing because the poll usually runs till 10:30, 11. We're hoping to, maybe it'll be a little, we moved the start time up. We're starting at 6:30 on Friday night, and we're starting at 6 on Saturday night. So we're starting in a half hour early on Friday night, and then a whole hour earlier than the year before on Saturday night. So we're pretty happy about that. It's action packed. We're gonna two tracks. It'll be nonstop pulling action. We're pretty excited. I mean, it's just there's not a bad seat in the house. The pulling track kind of is in the, I guess I'd call it the apron of the racetrack, just below the front stretch, and it's actually raised up a little bit. And then the way the bleachers are and everything on the front stretch, I mean, you can. There's not a bad seat in the house. You're looking down at the track. You can see everything. We got the video board up there from NTPA that's like right head on, and it's just we try to put on the best show we can, and it just keeps growing every year and getting better. And right now, what we're just lacking is the fans. We need the fans to come out and fill these stands, fill the campgrounds. We're a short drive from Dyersville, Iowa. That's only 5 miles from us. You can go to the Field of Dreams and check that out. Dubuque's close. Great atmosphere there. Yeah, they're pretty excited about the pull. I mean, my dad been pulling his whole life. I've been pulling my whole life. My brother, we'll be pulling in every class here, but the super farm. But it's early. You never know. We could own a super farm by then. So
I would say you got about 8 weeks. I think you have one in the house there.
we could have it, but we're really excited about it. It's a fun time. Like I said, there's not a bad seat in the house. There's great pulling action the whole night. You're gonna see everyone's gonna hang it all out there, especially with a power track. That's what we build. Jim Miller does our track. He does a fantastic job, and it'll be. I have a feeling last year, I think it was the best track we had yet, and I think this year will be better. We plant winter rye in it right now, so it's all green and put the nutrients back into it. So we're pretty excited about it.
That's good. And I have to compliment, and I told you during the time, your staff was top notch. And I mean, I mean that. I work with a lot of groups, and I was impressed just from the get-go. The very informative, very helpful, could find the answers. Really, really good staff. So fans, you're coming out there, you're going to have a great experience.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what we're in for. So I kind of handle the track and the puller side of the things. That's kind of my forte as a promoter for that. And then my brother-in-law Joe kind of runs the front of the house. I call it the ticket sales, the fans, the concessions, and he does an awesome job and works his tail off for that. And it's just a great combination of teamwork that plays into it's all family. We pull's hard. It's hard to put on a pull, and we need the fans there. Come on out. If you can't come out, go to full pull. They'll have it live, I'm sure. So, and we're excited about them coming on board this year with us and doing the live stream. And we're really looking forward to having this pull. And last year was a great event, but I think this year is going to push it over the top and be even better.
I agree. Well, come out and see and support the Simons and all the way. You're going to contend for a lot of titles this year if you can keep everything going in the right direction. And normally you do. I mean, you really that mod that toward the end of the year. I mean, quite a comeback on that division, and your pro stocks are right there. Of course, you could take obviously credit with the title of the pro stock as well. So I mean,
it's just been awesome, and we're just having fun. You live life to the fullest, and that's what we're doing. We're having a blast doing it, and we love pulling, and we want to see it grow. So come on out, support these pulls, support us, and we'll keep making it bigger and better. And if there's anything we can do, or you see something that you want or see or don't want to see, talk to us about it, and our ears are always on, because we're looking to grow this sport and grow our event. And it's it's a great sport. I mean, there's no other sport I don't feel that has the family atmosphere. You can bring your kids out, walk them through the pit area where all the haulers are, talk to the pullers, ask them. Some of the pullers, not all, but some of them will let you sit on their vehicles if you ask, and just enjoy. There's not a lot of sports you can do that and be right in the thick of it and check out these haulers. I mean, I think we can all attest, Greg. I think the haulers are almost more impressive nowadays than the vehicles, or just as. I mean, it's pretty impressive just to walk through the pits and see the haulers anymore and what they've come from just since the early 90s, when everyone had a pickup and trailer, or even open trailers, to now, everyone's rolling in big motorhomes and trailers. It's just a fun time. You bring your family. It's an atmosphere you're not going to find at a lot of other racing venues. Come on out, camp all weekend with us. I guarantee you'll be back next year. That's for sure.
I agree. And I'm going to be back this year. RJ, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Greg.
Fans, we are a few weeks away from our summer circuit coming into full action. As far as our NTPA Grand National Tour goes, we begin our journey at the Galot Motorsports Park in Benson, North Carolina on May 31st and June 1st with the Mule City 300 with 6 NTPA Grand National divisions. Then it's on to Farley, Iowa for the Raider Implement NTPA Grand Nationals on June 7th and 8th. There, fans will see 6 divisions compete. After 2 weekends of action, 10 of our 13 Grand National divisions will have competed at least once. The next week in Hutchinson, Minnesota, for the Power Pool Nationals, we introduced the last 3 divisions yet to run: Super Stock Diesels, Unlimited Mods, and Super Stock Diesel 4-wheel drive trucks. Then, to end the month of June, it is on to the first Super National event of the year in Tomah, Wisconsin. The Budweiser Dairyland NTPA Super Nationals commences with 3 days of great point action, June 20th through the 22nd, and 5 sessions scheduled. While the Grand National schedule is robust in the month of June, so is the regional national circuits with the following schedule: June 1st in Morley, Michigan for Region 2 competition. June 8th, we'll have the showdown in Kurdtown and Ellsworth, Wisconsin, kicking off Region 3 action with a huge number of classes. Also on June 8th is the second year running of the NTPA Mega Pole in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. It's back to the Buckeye State for back-to-back events the following weekend, June 14th in Paulding, Ohio, as well as June 15th in Wauseon, Ohio. June 21st finds us in Mechanicstown, Ohio for the Mechanicstown Meltdown, and then back in the Wolverine State the next day, June 22nd in Fremont, Michigan, and the Bob Gilliland Memorial Pole. Continuing the trek in the Midwest, on June 23rd, we are in Greenfield, Indiana for a brand new Region 2 event, and then on to one of the longest running regionals on the circuit in Arcola, Indiana, which is just west of Fort Wayne, for 3 nights of action, June 27th through the 29th. Also on June 27th is an event in Cadiz, Ohio, which wraps up our June calendar events. The best way to keep abreast of the NTPA schedule is to visit our website at ntpapool.com and click on the schedule button. Now I'd like to introduce our sponsor procurement specialist, Dr. Dan Shrier, with the latest news in NTPA sponsorship.
Thank you, Greg. It is an honor to share this update. For today's episode, we highlight those sponsors who have returned from last year's polling season. Now, with every videocast, all of our sponsors' logos will be scrolling in the corner of your screen. Our first returning sponsor is Case IH of Racine, Wisconsin. They return as the presenting sponsor of the NTPA Grand National Circuit and the weekly NTPA Championship Polling RFD TV program. Hot Shot Secret of Mount Gilead, Ohio, has also returned as the official fuel additive of the NTPA. This Grand National Circuit sponsor will once again fund the Hot Shot Secret Challenge bonus program for all 13 Grand National divisions at selected 2024 events. Mack Trailer of Alliance, Ohio, is back as the Grand National Circuit sponsor and they increased their sponsorship for 2024. As we speak, we have just finished up with the awesome Mack Trailer NTPA Winter Nationals event, and we're looking forward to the 2025 edition, tentatively scheduled on Saturday, March 29th. Mark your calendars. O'Reilly Auto Parts of Springfield, Missouri is also back as a Grand National Circuit sponsor. Look to the checkout counter at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts outlet anywhere in the United States for tickets to several NTPA national events this season, including the Enderley Pull-Off. And while we're on that subject, Enderley Fuel Injection of California is once again the title sponsor of the NTPA's All-Star Invitational, the 37th edition of the One Run and Done season finale is Saturday, September 14th in Urbana, Ohio. Tickets will go on sale at ntpapool.com on August 1st. AP1 Premier Crop Insurance is back as the NTPA's official crop insurance company. And we encourage you to check with Ron and Derek Bargy about your specialty insurance needs. Our old friends at Sempico are nearing their third full decade of NTPA sponsorship. Watch for the guys in the yellow shirts and hats trackside at most all of the Grand National polls. And our officials and many of our competitors put their trust in Stop Fire, the world's best fire extinguisher produced by AKE. Also back for more in 2024, our Grand National Division sponsors High Torque, which produces starters for agricultural, industrial, and custom applications, and Dr. Preload, a division of Temper Axle, which aids the trucking industry with bearing adjustment technologies. You'll see the High Torque and Dr. Preload logos on participating vehicles in our Super Farm and Super Semi divisions. Finally, we are thrilled to have brought back Cowtails Candy back into the NTPA family. Cowtails and the Getz's Candy Company will be Grand National Circuit sponsors this year and will bring the sample tent to several premier level pools. Be sure to stop by and say hi and grab a few of each Cowtails flavors: caramel, chocolate brownie, strawberry smoothie, caramel apple, and their newest flavor, honey bun. 2024 is going to be a great year. These loyal companies continue to support our pullers and the fans. We are so honored to work with them. If you are aware of any companies who would like to be partners with our great organization, the NTPA, please contact me at dan@ntpapool.com. Again, that's dan@ntpapool.com. With all these companies, please do your part and consider doing business with these enterprises that support NTPA championship polling. In our next video cast, we will highlight the new sponsors for 2024. Back to you, Greg.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to check out our next NTPA Championship Polling podcast next month. On behalf of Dan Shrier, the Tri-Rivers Career Center of Marion, Ohio, and myself, we look forward to seeing you next time.